Hey everyone. So just a couple things I want to talk about in this video. The first article was sent over to me and it's from SueToday.com. And the headline well, I don't agree with it. Because it states, border traffic down 1 year after Canadians were told not to visit the US. So as a Canadian, were you told not to go to the US or did you make that decision on your own? So we'll talk about this later. I also have a report from CBC, where they also talk about 1 year later. Is the boycott and buy Canadian movements, does it still have steam? I know if you follow my channel and you're part of the GTL community, your boycott is going strong. But it is good to get a pulse on what the rest of Canada feels. And last, I have an article here that's titled, Canadians Abandoning Jersey Shore Until the Orange Guy is Gone. Summer tourism stats plummet. I think it's funny that they actually think we'll come back after the Orange Guy is gone. It seems like they think that he's the only problem. So we'll talk about this in today's video. The backdrop for today's video comes again from Relied. This time it comes from Reversing Rapids in St. John's. I believe she took this photo on a vacation a few years ago. But thank you, Lorelei, for sending over all of these photos. Now I want to get to this first article titled, Border Traffic Down 1 Year After the Canadians Were Told Not to Visit the US. And this is from SueToday.com. Now when I read this headline, I thought it was from Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. But instead of making myself look like an idiot, I decided to see where SueToday.com was actually located. And to my surprise, it is actually located in Ontario. I mean, you would think that a Canadian media company would know that nobody told us to start the boycott. We did it ourselves. Let me read a few points out from this article for you. For the second straight year, traffic at the International Bridge is down for February. Last month's 54,121 crossings were a 9.3% decrease compared to February 2025, which saw itself 13.3% drop over February 2024. Traffic at the bridge dropped across all categories, with last month's 19,911 full-fare passenger cars dropping 9.8% year over year, and the 28,691 commuter fare crossings similarly coming at 8.3% lower than last year. Now we have to remember that we're comparing 2025 numbers now, so the percentages that we're going to see are going to be definitely lower than last year. But for me, as long as I see a decline, even if it's like 5% or like 10% or 2%, I still know that we are boycotting. Now here's the part that I don't quite agree with in this article. It states, it was the beginning of February 2025 when former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau encouraged Canadians to visit tourist attractions here rather than traveling to the US. Now is the time to choose Canada. There are many ways for you to do your part. Pick Canadian products, Trudeau said. It might mean changing your summer vacation plans to stay here in Canada and explore the many national and provincial parks, historical sites, and tourist destinations our country has to offer. Now, I think everybody remembers former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's speech. I mean, I watched it live. I'm sure a lot of you guys did as well. And this is just my opinion, but I didn't need Justin Trudeau to tell me to start boycotting. I made that decision on my own, probably weeks before I even did the speech. But for me, listening to Justin Trudeau say this was more reassurance that I was doing the right thing. So that's why I don't like this headline, because I wasn't told to do anything. Many of us Canadians were not told to do anything. Personally, I see Justin Trudeau's speech as reassuring us that we have a right to be pissed off. But stating that Canadians were told not to visit the US, I don't know, this is just me, but it makes it sound like we're weak and that we can't think for ourselves. Kind of like this guy right here.
So I didn't really do much research, so I can't make comment, but I just trust Trump. Whatever Trump does, I'm going to take his word and go with it. He's the best guy on the planet.
Man, that's painful to watch. But we're not like this guy. We can think for ourselves. And we don't need our government to tell us that we need to boycott. So let me know in the comments below if you agree with me on this or not. And if you do agree and this is the first time you're watching my video, make sure to hit the subscribe button below so you're notified of my future videos. Now speaking of boycott, CBC did a report and it's basically titled, Does the Buy Canadian movement still have steam? We're 1 year into this now, and maybe some people have faded away from the boycott. Maybe some people have doubled down on it. And I know for a fact that Europe has also stepped it up when it comes to the US boycott. But I want to go over this report with everyone to get a bit of a pulse on where we are at now, 1 year after.
Michelle Gentner is pointing at all of the Canadian products inside her grocery store, of which there are many. It was part of the store's mantra when it first opened in 2019 to have as many Canadian products as possible. After Donald Trump started a trade war with Canada last year, the demand for Canadian products exploded.
So we made prominent changes with putting maple leaves on products that are made locally, highlighting them. We have digital tags, so we have stars that highlight when something is coming in locally.
The store is filled with little maple leafs, something that also happened in many of the big box grocers. So, a year since the Buy Canadian movement took off, have consumer buying habits permanently changed?
I just want to spend the money and I want it to stay in here.
I still do look for the signs, perhaps less religiously than I did, a year ago. But it still matters. I mean, we're not through it yet.
What's it like for you? Is it about buying Canadian or just the most affordable things that you can find?
Most affordable things.
Now, I've mentioned in previous videos that when it comes to groceries, my stance on it is a little bit different than others. I know many people are boycotting, like 100% US products. But in doing so, it is a bit more expensive than being able to buy stuff from the United States. And when it comes to affordability, I would not expect people to go outside of their financial means to do the boycott. I've had people in the past email me telling me that they did have to buy some US products because it was cheaper and affordable and more affordable for their family. So instead of doing like 100% boycott on their grocery run, they did like 75. But what I'm trying to say though is that I don't want people to go out of their means. And any little bit does help. If you're able to do like 60% or 70% Canadian and the rest whatever, you're still contributing to the boycott.
In our household, we stuck with it. It made a profound difference to our Amazon habits, for example. So Amazon used to be an absolute default, go there first of all. Now it's a last choice.
The messaging is definitely still out there, from the Prime Minister's procurement policies to the Premier's ban on American booze. And if you turn on the radio,
I'm standing and singing my heart out for Canada. Hi, this is Sarah McLaughlin. Buy Canadian. Shop as if your country depends on it.
We launched it just 3 days after Donald Trump initiated tariffs in Canada.
Larry McInnes and Mike Okemore created a PSA campaign featuring prominent Canadians and celebrities.
This may be a campaign that lasts a couple weeks or a month. Things will probably die down and get back to usual after that. Well, here we are. It's been over a year.
To be honest, I thought like when the whole travel and product boycott started last year, my guess was that when the summer came around, people would jump off the boycott and then, go back to their regular US travel locations, buy the US stuff. And I probably would kill my channel after that. But once summer came around and I still started seeing reports from the United States saying that they're down in tourism, that kind of clicked in my head saying, hey, I think this thing is real.
It says that Canadian nationalism is as strong as it's ever been, and probably stronger than I remember it being in a long, long time. Donald Trump kind of united this country in a way that Canadian politicians haven't been able to.
All over the country, grocers are seeing sustained demand for Canadian products.
This is a permanent shift, and that's based on everything I've heard from the members. This is not something that is going to change.
Back at Unbox Market, they're happy that consumer dollars being spent in their store is staying in the country.
We've seen growth and seen more small businesses doing well and doing better on our shelves, which I'm hoping means that they're doing better on other businesses' shelves as well.
Dale Manukduk, CBC News, Toronto.
So regardless of whatever you hear from the haters, the boycott movement is still happening. In the beginning, I kind of felt like Canada was on its own. But slowly, the rest of the world started joining in on the boycott. I mean, even here in Malaysia, I'm starting to notice some major Starbucks locations are already closing down. But here, there's so many different options for coffee. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that we can only control what we can do. Can't control what others can do. I mean, it is a free world. But we still have just under 3 years for the orange guy to really screw things up. And I have a feeling more and more people are going to be jumping on board. Not just Canadians, but I'm talking about other countries around the world. Now, the last article I want to talk about for today, it's titled, Canadians abandoning Jersey Shore until the orange guy is gone. Summer tourism stats plummet. That's cute. They think it's just the orange guy that's causing this problem. The article starts off by telling their New Jersey audience that following the start of the orange guy's second term, Cape May County businesses began reporting a noticeable rise in Canadian callers canceling their reservations. Many attribute the change to the president's hardline immigration policies and escalating trade disputes with foreign governments. Orange Guy has openly criticized Canadian leaders in recent months, at one point suggesting Canada should become the 51st state. Early last month, he imposed a 25% tariff on Canadian imports. What do you mean by one point? It's been going on for like an entire year. An entire year of 51st state rhetoric, and not only from him, but also from your fellow citizens as well. But hey, I gotta at least give them credit. They did mention the 51st state, and didn't blame it on the exchange rate. In the Wildwoods, where the Orange Guy held 2 large rallies, officials worry that the tense political climate in the United States will continue to shape Canada's vacation destinations. Last year, Canadians made up to 5 to 6% of visitors to 5 Mile Island, said Ben Rose, Director of Marketing and Public Relations of the Greater Wildwoods Tourism Improvement and Development Authority. Before Orange Guy returned to the office, Canadians typically represented about 10% of Wildwood's vacationers, and many local officials considered them some of the region's most loyal shore visitors. Now, I'm pretty sure the Canadians that used to visit your region, they were loyal shore visitors. I mean, we openly crossed the border to, support your economy. And we considered you guys friends. Until you pissed us off. And I say you, meaning the people of Wildwood. Because if I bring up my trusty website right here that shows the political, I don't know what you call it, political climate within a region, you can see here in the Wildwoods, look how down red it is. And it was even mentioned in the article that the Orange Guy had 2 rallies in your area. So if your tourism officials or whoever these officials are worried that the tense political climate in the United States will continue to shape Canadians' vacations, well, you guys kind of brought this on yourself by voting for the Orange Guy. So you have nobody else to blame but yourself. Article then goes on to say, some Canadians are coming back, Rose said. The majority of them, though, are still not booking. I think we're going to see this for a couple more years. Now, my guess why he said a couple more years is because he's waiting for the Orange Guy to leave. But what he doesn't realize is that many Canadians, including myself, even after the Orange Guy is gone, I think we're already done with the United States. Now, New York, as well as New Jersey, they're hosting the World Cup, I think. Yeah, they are. And here's a statement from the governor. Governor Shills looks forward to welcoming Canadian visitors, as well as those from around the world for FIFA 2026, to experience the best New Jersey, he added. Orange Guy and his cabinet have downplayed the economic impact of the decline. And here's a statement from the White House. The Orange Guy has done more for American tourism than anyone, especially by making our communities safer and beautiful again for all to enjoy. Deputy White House Press Secretary Anna Kelly said in a statement to NJ.com. His America First agenda has restored our country's place as a leader of the free world again. What? As a free world again, making it the best place to live or visit. Like, what kind of delusional person is this? Now, we have a few case studies from businesses in the area that are, noticing a decline. I love case studies. Bruce Hamlin, owner of several well-known Wildwood hotels, including the Paradise Ocean Resort and Crusader Ocean Resort, said he recorded about 260 Canadian cancellations last April, a loss of roughly 94,000. That shortfall was later offset by new reservations from other guests. Last year, we probably saw about 65 to 70% decrease in the Canadian business, Hamlin said of his businesses. It's a replication of last year. Well, Bruce Hamlin, you should probably talk to the people around you. The ones that actually voted for this. Because that map looks pretty red right now. And who knows, maybe you did vote for him as well. But everyone that is to blame is the ones that are around you. Okay, one more case study, then I gotta go. I'm still playing tour guide for one more day. Campgrounds in Cape May County have also felt the pullback, said Joan Velasquez. Hope I pronounced that right. Executive Director of the New Jersey Campground Owners Association. For years, campgrounds have been among the country's strongest performers, offering low-cost overnight stays just for a short drive from the beach. Many plan to mirror the Wildwood's summer marketing approach, Velasquez says, and several will meet potential visitors in person at an upcoming RV show in Canada. Well, if I was at that RV show, I'd be telling them, sorry, I'm not going to your campground anymore. The drop in Canadian visitations at the Jersey Shore reflects a national trend. By August 2025, the number of Canadian tourists entering the U.S. was 35.6% to 43% lower than the same period in 2024, according to Tourism Economics. So it's clear to me that the Jersey Shore and the Wildwoods area, whatever it's called, is suffering at the moment. But what is also clear is that they're also not taking responsibility for it happening. And when I'm talking about responsibility, I'm talking about this. I purposely left it on the screen so that everyone is aware of what this region's voting category is, I guess, or whatever you call it. Because all of these sob stories that we're hearing from the campground person or the hotel owner, they might have very well actually voted for the Orange Guy as well. And if they didn't, they should be knocking on the door of their neighbors and saying, hey, why the hell did you vote for the Orange Guy? Or smarten up. Because this is not the problem of the Canadians, and we're not going to come down and fix your problem, which is your problem is, you're not getting any money anymore. So I don't have any sympathy at all for these US business owners. They dug themselves into their own hole, so they got to get themselves out of it. But back to the original title, which caught my attention. Canadians abandon Jersey Shore until the Orange Guy is gone. You guys are in for a big surprise, because even when the Orange Guy is gone, I would not expect things to return back to normal. And why is that? Well, look how red that map is, and that red map is not going to change. So good luck to you, Jersey Shore. Okay, that's it for this video. I got to quickly render this video, and then I got to step out and do my tour guide duties. So just a reminder, everyone, only one video today, and then tomorrow I can start back on my regular schedule. If you found any value or agree with anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international perspective without the US media bullshit, Make sure you hit the like and subscribe so you're notified of my future videos. Thanks everyone. I'll see you in the next one.